I'm Blake Walton.
I'm Ann Morrison.
Together with David Coyle, the three of us have expanded our what was just a Gata band to include something called October Morning Productions. We've now started with a few plays that are multicast. We're doing this summer my play called The Better Man.
Which is gorgeous.
Is it?
Mature.
Is it?
I love this play. He didn't cast me in it, but I'm not bitter.
Well, you're a little beyond it, but...
I'm old.
Well, I didn't want to say those words.
I did.
But you are too old.
I know.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
There are other things you can play, like 80-year-old, 90-year-old Beatrice Lilly. I mean, that's good.
I love him.
Yeah. But you're playing the witch in Into the Woods.
Yes, I am playing Witch in the Woods.
So there's that. Once in a while, people will cast Annie, so I don't have to. I want to tell you about the newest exciting project that we're doing through October Morning Productions, and that is my play called The Better Man. I'm directing it at the Thespis Theater Festival in July. I couldn't be happier with what is going on so far. I'm extremely excited about my cast.
So what do you like about Julie?
Oh, what I like about Julie is that she's smarter than she might come off as. She's, I'm not going to say dichotomy because it's more complex than that. It's more of a mosaic, but she is, you can read her on the page as being kind of not thin, but on the surface, just somebody that rides along, but she's got a lot going on in here, and she's very insightful when she allows herself to be.
So who's Joe?
Joe is the worst person you've ever met. Everyone's met Joe. Everyone knows Joe. Joe's a friend I had from middle school. Joe's a different friend I had in high school, and Joe's someone I knew in college. I think he just sort of stayed there. He got stuck in college.
That's great. What's his job in this play?
His job, I think, is really to make the other people look like better people, better men, if I may. Out of all the men, he's not the better man. And I think that's what the title's about. Like, who's better, Del or Paul? Well, Joe's not in the running at all.
Well, so tell me about Paul. What you like about him?
What I like about Paul, there's a lot going on in his mind, in him, inside of him, and physically, and in his mind, and kind of the duality, is that he's feeling.
You talked about the duality before, because that's so prevalent.
Yeah, I mean, this is nothing. What's interesting is that it's interesting as an actor, you play it, you perform it, but this exists in the world. I mean, this is people who are in a situation, and you've got these poles one way or the other, one way in particular, and you don't. It's just complete wrestling with who you are. And it's a.
And what are those poles for people who don't really know anything about this character?
I mean, he's in love with Del. He has to admit that, and he's kind of going the traditional way, which I'm sure anyone in his family or people that he knows would do. He comes from a traditionally straight background, and so he's kind of doing what he feels society thinks he should do, what he sort of thinks is comfortable, but ultimately what he knows would really be comfortable is if he just said, Del was like his conscience in a way. He tells him what you have to tell Julie the truth, so that.
Who's Julie?
Julie being Paul's soon-to-be wife.
Oh, he's getting married.
Yes, that's the plan. And Del comes to visit. He's going to be the best man at the wedding. And
what's it called, The Better Man?
It takes a better man to be honest, and or a woman, but in this case, a man who needs to come to terms with who he really is. And I take it, you know, it's not, it's more, to me, the feeling of the character and what I feel the play is about is more than just the scope of the show. You know, I mean, I know people in my life that have been close to me that have been very affected by it, being in a position where they felt that that was the way it should be. And maybe time went on and on and on, and they never were able to admit who they really were. And, you know, that affects people in a lot of different ways, more than just maybe a little bit of drama. I mean, there's people who lose their lives over this stuff because they can't handle not being able to admit who they really are. And if enough time goes by, you just lose it. You know, I think you can really lose who you are. And so it's more than just the relationship of a few people and little, you know, a triangle, and one guy has to figure out where he needs to go. I mean, it's a huge scope of a lot of people, what they struggle with, you know, men and women, coming to terms with who you are, and it's extremely important because it can make or break your life, you know, who you are, and being truthful to yourself and the rest of the world. So.
The Better Man is about two men coming to grips with their own love of each other. One of whom is getting married in the week that the play takes place. And the depth of that and the largeness of that is what the play's about.